Hey
Hey,
Jane,
how are
how are
you?
you?
I'm
Good, good.
good.
We have to come up with, I think, like a new starting point to this thing at some point. Like, hey, welcome to Vizlib Appy Hour. I'm
Y-
Joe. This is Jane.
Yeah, all the YouTubers have like a saying where they're like, "Welcome back, my furry friends." I don't know. So, or like the Tiger King, Carol Baskin, she says like, "Hello." What does she say? Crazy
uh,
cats.
Crazy cats and kittens.
Oh yeah, my crazy cat and kittens. We need something like that.
We missed the boat on that stuff, I think. But we can come back to it. There will be another Tiger King like phenomenon, and
Mhm.
we're gonna jump on it.
Yeah,
We're gonna be like dressed up.
we could be the Tiger King phenomenon.
I talked to somebody, who was it? A new hire the other day at Vizlib, and they're talking about they want to go to Comic-Con.
Oh,
And I'm like, do you
perfect.
dress up for that stuff? And they're like, well, a little bit, but there's the people that go full out. And I'm like, oh, if we could get like our group and then a bunch of Vizlibers to go, there's some shy people that wouldn't want to do it. And then
Yeah.
others will be full in. Like you probably know a few of them.
Well, I changed my like job title on Slack. So we use Slack to communicate. And
Yeah.
so I changed mine too. I thought this was funny because people always ask, what do you do? I was like, well, I'm on like we do social media. So I said I'm the next Kardashian.
Is that going to be our team name? Because I don't
I
know.
I pitched it, but no one seemed to like it.
I thought I saw that come through. Yeah, I just ignored that one.
Like, I don't like that. Next Kardashian. But I think that would be a funny Comic-Con costume. Just dashboards and Kim Kardashian.
It's everybody. I'm really thinking like, oh, if you want to go, we'll pay your way to whatever Comic-Con it is, but you have to dress up. Everybody has to be in a costume.
Oh yeah, I would just be a dashboard, but with like a Kim wig and like everything else Kim does. Crazy Kim stuff.
Yeah, I have no idea. So what are you drinking today?
My favorite thing in the world is kombucha. So I've got kombucha. This is the Island Mango, which is pretty good. Last time I had an herbal one, not my favorite, but yes.
Is that the bottle looks like a syrup bottle. People were talking about it, or
Yeah.
they thought you had cough syrup on the show. I got coffee as a standby, and also I wanted to experiment with this. So it's a lime flavor, Kirkland, with a Costco brand, not a sponsor, and their sparkling water because it's all they had. Everything else was out, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I actually like the lime one from there. I think I've noticed we drink a lot of lime things because so often I'd pull something up and it would just be gone.
Yeah, it is refreshing. And there's other things too that have lots of lime in it, right? And sourness. I think that's the focus today is everything candy and sweets or treats. I heard, yeah, in the UK they don't call it candy.
They call it treats, I think.
Treats
Wait,
and
no,
sweets.
They call it
Sweets.
sweets.
I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what is candy? And then I ask him like, what's a cracker? What's a biscuit? And we just go off on these cookies and biscuits things, get lost. So do you want to share, because we decided to extend the Sweetest App challenge.
Yeah.
It seems like it was a busy month last month in August. I know it was for me. I'm newly married, so I was out just for a little bit. People keep asking, why are you back? Shouldn't you be on your honeymoon? We are going to extend that out until we can, have a fun trip. So I got that, but I feel like a lot of people were out on vacation, so we didn't get as many as we'd like. So we're going to extend it throughout the end of this month. So there's still time for people to check out this data set that you built. Do you want to bring up your website with it?
Yes, let me see if I can.
Yes, off the market. I am off the market. I've been off the market for 11 years, I feel like, but this one is, locked in.
No, locked in.
Yeah, we'll add your screen there when you get a second. It's a fun data set too. You like hand collected this, researched a lot of this stuff. But if people go out, find the Swedish App Challenge, you can sign up, take part, and you get this data set don't have to add anything to it, right? And
Nope.
we've seen a couple of the entries, right?
Yeah, and the entries that we do have, your work has not gone unnoticed. We will send out our first round of prizes, but we are extending it. This is just round 2. We saw some really good things. People are very creative. Hopefully what we do today will also give people some ideas. Yeah.
And we're not thinking people spend a ton of time. We know how busy you are in your normal job and things like that. So what we try to do is bring together a fairly simple data set that's just kind of fun. And you use Qlik and then a couple of Vizlib components to try to bring some color and things to this particular data. So it looks like most of the submissions are one sheet with a couple different visualizations. There's a few where they went like deep dive and we're like, oh, how much time did they spend on this? But there's no minimum or maximum amount of time, but we will look at everything and salivate over your creations.
I mean, yeah, you guys can get so creative. I mean, it's not a really hard data set to digest. I think it's pretty simple. So yeah, create a few things that looks nice. We'd love to see what you have, and we will feature all the winners on our website.
Ooh, yeah. You'll get published, and then we decided, right, that Jane, you're going to go out, you're going to go shopping, maybe on Amazon, but maybe there's like a boutique candy store, and go fill up some baskets with candy and send them. We don't know what the budget is. We can decide that later.
Yeah.
How much candy can you get for like 50 or $100 or something like that? Depends on what it is, but
I had that idea of getting just, those really gigantic candies, like one huge gummy bear, one huge something. Yeah, let me know if you prefer a lot of different types or just a huge like piece of candy.
Something that we did get for our wedding actually last week, and this will not come through, some of it will come through, is one of my favorites from childhood, the ring pops. And we had a few kids at the wedding. It was a little smaller than we planned it, but than we had wanted originally. But ooh, that one's just shining right through, the lime one. The adults, I mean, they dug into this entire container. Everybody's walking around with ring pops on towards the end, maybe getting a little bit more energy to go out and dance. So I still have a bunch of ring pops with me, and I'm not gonna eat one now because my tongue will turn blue.
Your mouth is slowly
disappear.
Yes. Yeah, if you eat a green one, that would be funny.
And then I'm talking, it's just like you can see through the back of my head. That would be bad. So that's one of my favorite ones from childhood. But my go-to is likely something that has peanut butter and chocolate in it. Those are if I'm gonna have to pick something sweet, go with like a Reese's probably.
Gotcha. As a kid, I did not like chocolate or peanut butter, so I always ate the weird candies. Ooh. I loved like Dots. Do you remember Dots?
Where you rip them off the paper? Those ones?
It came in a cardboard and it was like red, pink,
chewy little ones.
Yeah.
Shaped like a thimble, that type of one.
Yeah, everyone wanted to trade candy with me after Halloween because they're like, "Can I have your Snickers?" I was like, "Yes, give me your Dots."
And then you can't even talk because your mouth's just like stuck with dots. Cool. So, I mean, I think Mike designed your background here, right? Too. Like he seems to be a fan of dots and some types of.
Oh yeah, dots are like these.
Yeah, perfect. So we got that. We'll send that off to people. Tell us in the comments too where you're based, what your favorite candy was as a kid, and maybe if it's changed today as an adult. Curious to see if we have it in the data set. Cool.
Awesome.
Should we jump into the app that we're going to Vizlibify today?
Yes, that sounds good. I realized you have to do your entire screen to see the mouse.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, so perfect. Okay.
So what do we got here? Orient us to what we're seeing on the screen. This is that data set, right? The candy data set.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of everything. It's pretty confusing. So here you can input your data. Ever since I discovered input forms. I've loved input forms. So you've got your input forms here. You can put in your daily calories, how much sugar you want. So maybe I want to eat 2 servings of candy. My maximum, I think the recommended average daily value is 2,000. And I only want...
Of all candy, you can just eat 2,000. I guess it's just calories. If that's all you're going to eat in a day. Okay. And then you want 20. That's in grams, right?
Yes.
That last one.
So we want to do something with that because we're not using this anywhere.
Oh, right.
And yeah, I want to, I want to be able to choose sour versus chocolate candies. So this is just a chart to help me pick which candy I should eat.
Ah, out of the massive data set, you can, you're filtering down. Okay. Let's see here. So, I mean, right off the bat, pie chart, it's an easy one to add because you can see really how many, this is calories per gram. So it's a weighted thing. There's a lot of labels going on.
Yeah, it makes it kind of small and difficult to read.
I mean, default, the easiest way to go is to a bar chart, right, for those things. And then you can just scroll through. So you see that the Lion bar has the most calories per gram. Where's that one out of? Lion bar. Somebody suggested that one, right?
Yeah, I think it's the UK.
Lion bar. I'm going to look it up real quick here and see. I feel like I've seen it before in airports.
Yeah, I've had one time. I think it has every type of candy all in one.
40 grams. It's by Nestle.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if does that come through. The Lion bar.
Yes, that looks good.
Peanut. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. I would definitely be a fan of this. I didn't know.
Peanut. I remember having wafers. I like chocolate if there's like wafers or kind of a crunch in it.
It seems like it's an entire candy line and it has many different flavors.
Okay.
So like you can get Snickers with different things in it, like the almond Snickers and that stuff. I bet it's like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that sounds good.
So it could be the one that you could have the fewest of if you really love it, versus what's the tiniest sliver? Because you can rotate through it, right?
Knoppers.
Knoppers, another one I have no idea.
You've got.
I mean, it's still like it's interactive, right? You can get to that. Kit Kats, yeah, down at the bottom.
Milky Ways.
Those I can go through like crazy.
Milky Ways?
No, Kit Kats.
Oh, yeah.
Milky Ways would be the one that I like trade to my brother or my sister during Halloween.
Yeah.
Kit Kats. Anytime I see that orange label, I just like slide it over the side and also put it in a box that was not near my Halloween candy so I could keep it away from other people. And then like slowly eat them over the course of like November.
Kit Kats are so good. And it's just too easy to eat. Just and then they're gone.
Well, it's good to know you can have many more servings of Kit Kats.
I was thinking we could actually do an activity gauge because we haven't played around with that too much.
Based on what your limit is?
Yeah.
And how much of those? Yeah, that makes more sense because we're not using your calorie limit yet. You can't really do that in a pie chart unless you do some measure. So yeah, we have the activity gauge. That's a good one.
So let's turn this into an activity gauge.
Okay.
We will get rid of that, make it nice and small.
Short story, like when I first found Vizlib years ago, activity gauge was one of the first things that I used because somebody on my team at Qlik had an Apple device that did the rings, the completion rings. How many steps did they take? What their activity was today? I miss working with these things. Now I'm working with Power BI, PBI. I guess it's or peanut butter. No, it's Power BI.
Working with Power BI makes me
sad. Yeah, it happens if it's forced on you. Sorry about that. And the activity gauge was like, that was the closest thing to actually what Apple has for their rings. And we didn't have anything comparable. And then I saw Vizlib made it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to build my own like activity dashboard. And I featured that in it. And they ended up sharing it. And I'm like, whoa, this is cool. Like, what else is in here? So it's I see it in a good amount of dashboards nowadays. The important part that I learned from Apple was to break it down into small segments. So let's see. Average calories per serving divided by grams per serving times your variable that you created.
So this. And then we can also, if we want it to be a percentage, we would need to divide by grams per serving times 100. I believe this is right.
This math is all on you. Whoa. All right. It did something. So there's that 100 grand. I expect it's out there. We have a lot of candies, so it can't display like how many candies do you think are in there?
40. That's a lie. Like 60.
Oh, okay. A lot of research. If we can do bottom 10 or top 10 based on something.
So we can do this. The colors aren't that nice.
Oh, turn off the show others. I found that that's helpful and it doesn't throw everything. Yeah, it gets rid of one of the inner circles. It never means much. Bottom, top. And then the sorting. Wonder how that's working. Oh, sorting is its own section. It might just be sorted alphabetically.
Yeah, or based on all the bottom candies.
Yep.
So we can color scheme. Maybe we can use one with a lot of colors, so everything gets a color.
It's its own thing. Sure. It's a colorful data set. We don't need that legend on, right?
No.
And then let's think about what this is telling us. So if we wanted to eat all of our calories in one day of candy, 2,000, this is how much of that 1 or 2 servings. You didn't do, there's nothing with the V servings yet, right?
Yes, I multiplied
it isn't there.
By the servings.
That's what I missed that. So if you drop it to 1, does it change all that now?
Yes.
Boom, we're doing better. I want to eat, I'm curious, if you just find Kit Kat, which is like the 4th in, it's in green from the inside, sorry. Select that one. And then hit OK. It's out there. How many servings? I mean, it's simple math. I want to eat 10 Kit Kats. 10 servings of Kit Kats. Is that over my limit?
Yes.
Oh, man. I've never done that before, but I'm curious. Would I just be like an energy rush or just completely crash?
That would be 124% of your calorie intake.
For a given day.
Yeah.
Terrible. Okay. I know that I've done that as a kid, though. I'm pretty sure I've eaten 10 servings of Kit Kats, no problem. Just don't do it every day and you're fine.
Yeah.
So maybe back down to the 2 servings. Otherwise, everything's way over. I kind of like that. And it's sorted alphabetically so we can kind of get into things and it's just the top or bottom 10 depending on what you picked. It's interesting. It's definitely way more interactive than that pie chart was.
Yeah, that pie chart. There's also too many. What is your rule for how many slices you like in a pie chart?
The strictest thing is 2 because your brain can see that really quickly. When you get into more than a few slices, then you're trying to figure out is it over a third or less than a fourth? Those types of things. Let's see. Somebody here says no more than 4. I think our one limit when I was at Qlik, the visual team said 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then beyond that, it's still not. I try not to actually have pies unless it's really 2 values.
Okay. Yeah, I do.
Yes or no, those are great for pies.
Yeah. It does depend on your data.
0, use a bar chart. Well, I mean, Josh, think about like the yes or no if it's sour. Oh, whatever, Emily. Okay. they're ganging up on us. It has its place. The bar chart that you have for like, is it chocolate candy or is it sour? I think the label might have gone weird, but that's a really simple pie. It doesn't take up as much space as this bar chart would. Yeah, so that's where I don't agree with Josh. Emily.
This would be better in a pie because you can see pieces of a whole.
Yeah, and it won't take up as much as long as it just says sour, yes, no type of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, depends on what you're going for. If it's a quick glance. Mecco? That's a whole topic of like teaching people what a Mecco chart is, how to read it. If you're in the dashboard all the time, maybe, yeah, it's a good one.
Meccos would be good for pie charts with way too many slices. But if you only have 2, then a Mecco is like a bar chart almost.
Yeah. But what could we do? Because we have the candy data has all these. You did the flavors. It looks like you have if it's sour, if it's chocolate. There's a few other things like the manufacturer, right? Do you have country of origin in there? Or did we not add that?
No, we do have year of origin.
The year that candy was released in the market, invented. Ooh. I mean, that's the line chart. But what I often find is, we kind of talked about this, and I think this one, Emily's too, when she just recently started, was saying hers is the sand key. It's a favorite one. I try to throw that in wherever I can, but the sand key diagram, I did a whole presentation just on a sand key and what it can tell you. So maybe we want to, let's duplicate your sheet so we don't lose all your good work.
In here?
Yeah, just duplicate it, and we'll just do a, well, maybe not even duplicate it. We just need a blank sheet. I kind of want the sand key to be the full thing. I guess if you throw it in, you could just maximize it, right?
Yeah. Plus, I can keep the background.
Oh, yeah, because it's got the sheet menu on it. Let's add the sand key. And this one originally, some of the most famous visualizations are sand keys, right? Like that Menard's, the March of Napoleon in his army. And as it dwindles and it goes through, it's a really cool visualization.
Oh, for each battle where they lose.
Yeah, and it drops down. The original one, I looked this up, was around a steam engine and efficiency. So you start with all this power input into the machine, then it's losing things here, and each step of the process, it's lost a little bit of power. So it shows flows really well. In the case of what you have here, you can just display a lot of dimensions and a single measure. So if you think about a scatter is one dimension, like the candy, and in multiple dimensions, how many calories, how many count, how many grams. This one's good for many, many dimensions. And it might not be flow is what we're thinking, but we're just trying to see how the candy is broken out. Maybe it's just count of your candies.
Oops. Count. I know Reddit loves sand keys.
Yeah.
Everything on data is beautiful. That Reddit thread is all sand keys.
They spend a lot of time, I think, getting the data to look a certain way, and then the sand key is the best way to show it. So here, what I like to turn on, because we can make it a lot more interactive. Here it's somewhat static. Go to the interactivity and turn on the draggable side. I think it's dragging. You may need to search for it. We can drag things out so you can move those around and really like highlight something. I really want to show, in this case, there's a bunch of not sour candy. There's actually there's no sour chocolate candy. Thank God. It seems really weird. So that's what the yes is telling us in the first column. None of it goes into the yes for chocolate. That's where the sand key is really useful. You couldn't see that in 2 bar charts. It's impossible to see that between 2 dimensions without a sand key.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be, I've seen it in healthcare a lot, of like patients that have something and they flow into this department or this diagnosis or this medication. And somebody goes, that's not right. And it comes down to maybe it was coded wrong, or actually they missed something, a wrong diagnosis. And the sand key is the one that can show you how this data connects between things and really help you find that dirty data quickly. Because if there was one of these yes sours that went to chocolate, we'd be like, what is that? Who would do that abomination, right?
Like a sour, I don't know. Could you imagine like a lime? I can imagine someone having like lime covered in chocolate.
I'm sure there's something.
Or like orange, chocolate oranges. I've never understood that.
Sour? Are oranges sour? Citrusy. Citrus and chocolate go together, but I feel like sour just doesn't. I'm sure Josh has some sour chocolate somewhere. It's probably one of those weird things you give people dares to do and eat. But the other thing I was thinking, you could keep throwing in dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
And if you add in alternative dimensions, what it opens up, add another one here. So we have 4, maybe like manufacturer. That's a good one. Who makes all this stuff? Mars. And go to, I'm actually going to have you add one more thing in because it's going to unlock something else in the sand key. And that is an alternative dimension. So add it there. Add something you haven't added yet. Sure. And what you get now is the ability to pull ingredients in or swap out one of these. This one might be massive. I don't know what you put in the ingredients column.
It's quite massive.
It's going to try to display it all. And our demo server is not. It's in Europe, so I always blame that.
Oh, no. It's massive. Yeah, there it is. I'm going to.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I'm going to change that out. I'm actually I'll make sour into a alternative dimension. Then you can switch between sour and chocolate since they don't overlap.
Yeah, as I'm looking at what's in that column, just remove ingredients when you get that chance. We'll come back. It's got commas in it, so you have multiple things. I'd almost use Qlik to split that out into main ingredient, second, third, fourth. And then the sand key is kind of fun because it'll show you what's the first major ingredient. Is it milk? Is it corn syrup? There's a lot of those. And then the next one, I don't know if we'll want to play around with the data today, but maybe somebody that submits an app can figure out the best way to display the ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not a sand key. Maybe it's something else completely different. Oh no, did I ruin your sand key?
No, I think I did.
This is how we know it's live.
We'll have to wait a little bit. Sorry, guys.
What you could do is, refresh the app, but go into a different page and pick a single candy, and then we'll be able to get in through that data.
You get to see all of our.
I haven't seen your work stream in a while.
It's getting crazy.
Good. That's fun. Try to go to one of them that doesn't have the sand key. Oh, it's gone. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Never add it in again when we're good.
We can bring in manufacturer, but let's add sour here.
Yeah, add sour in there. There's one other thing. and I think you can do this. So our sand key is set up such that maybe you only want these 3 nodes. When you start getting to 4, 5, and 6, it gets to be like a spaghetti mess, but it can be useful. So I like to have that alternative dimension because you might, again, like chop into, one of these and then switch over to sour. Also, what I've seen is you can use drill through dimensions, like a hierarchy, and it could be location into the manufacturer if we had that information. So they click Mars and it'll show Mars is in the UK, US, all these different, they're a global company. So I'm sure they're in nearly every company or country.
Emily did have a good question. How meaningful are these colors? And are there any tips for applying colors on a sand key?
It's great. I mean, it doesn't give us much right now, unless we had locked in the colors for, say, what sour is. And then we could have everything actually from the middle kind of branch out and show the merges of the colors. You can do a gradient, but I don't think you get much from it. I like when there are 2 opposite colors and then they blend and you see like a red and a blue and you see where it becomes purple. It draws your eye to those things.
So yeah, we can make manufacturer 1 color. We can make flavors 1 color, and then these 2 can be different.
And then you see it even with the sand key kind of blending into one another as they cross paths. They jump out. So we give you a bunch of different ways to do it. If you do it by dimension, yeah.
And then in data, change it around.
Node color, yeah, custom. Maybe sour is. You'd have to write a quick expression unless we had a color code matched. That's where your other Appy Hour episode, where you use the input form to do all those colors.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my mind went like, oh, we could have every candy, every flavor have its own color. Instead of going out and finding the color codes, just give people the color picker and they just go through.
Interesting.
I think it might not need the, you could do an if statement.
Sour. Oh, sorry, you guys gotta watch me write this out.
What it is. The universal color for sour, green?
I would say green. Yeah, I've got like this is a nice olive rab. And then if not, what's the opposite? Red?
Not sour. If we like really wanted to highlight it, it's just gray. But then we have gray and green, and while I can see the differences, there are people that probably can't.
Maybe purple.
This is where we need Greta. She knows those opposite things. Or we use coolers. Wasn't that other website?
Oh yeah, coolers.
What would it say? Does anybody know what, if you just have 2, you really want to highlight 1, coolers.co. I feel like we should know that. That stands out.
Yeah, you can see. So yes.
Not sour.
So you can see that Mon Dizel International in this data set only has sour candy.
And the proportion out to flavors. So.
Oh no, they've got 1 not sour. Oh, that's Swedish. That's Swedish fish.
The Swedish fish red berry. Is that the original flavor of Swedish fish?
Yeah, it's called red berry. I think they say it's lingonberry.
Lingonberry. You can get those at IKEA. Lingonberry jam. It's my favorite.
Does it taste different?
Tastes like lingonberries.
Oh.
They're good. Yeah, so why I like this is that there's a lot of stuff jam-packed in here, right? You could add in multiple dimensions. We're really looking at a single measure right now, and it's usually proportions. So like the count of something. Mm-hmm. If you added an alternative measure, you could do like the average calories, or not. You wouldn't want to do average, like the calories of the candy. No, because we don't have the actual candy on here, do we?
I wonder if we could add in a Viz tip with the name of the candy.
It's not distinct to that part. So it might just be descriptive of how many candies did Mars make that are not sour.
Gotcha.
Or the top. Yeah, I guess it depends. You know this data set inside and out. Like, was there a popularity of the candy? You threw yours in there, right? Or did somebody else do that?
No, somebody else did that. Somebody else added in right back and then rated each candy.
Ooh. I kind of want to sit down and do that too. And just to see. We should do like we could have done this. We could have done like a Google survey and have people rate these candies and then put that into the data set, or people could just mock it up. Nobody seemed interested in it at Vizlib to go through and tell us their favorite candies.
No, I guess we don't have a lot of sweet-toothed people at Vizlib.
I bet we do. And I know that we have more than came out of the woodworks for it. I've seen them. I've seen their desks and the wrappers everywhere. What about, so this is looking good. We want to, how are we going to use your sugar calories or servings thing too?
Ooh, that's good. I was thinking scatter plots. Those are my favorites.
Because you're using this to like pick the candy you want to eat, right?
Yeah. Gotta narrow it down. And then this is great because if you want to boycott a manufacturer, you can just click in here and say,
yeah,
Nestle, no thanks.
Actually, most of these, I imagine, are all owned by a big conglomerate anyhow. Like Mars has so many different names in different countries. Nestle does as well. Nestle has some of these, I'm sure. It's not listed. We won't get into that, but that's all in there.
Yeah, you guys can look that up in your free time.
So scatter, do you want to just, we can keep the Sankey or just go to a whole new sheet again? Or you can add it there.
You can go back, yeah, and here. Okay. So, again, 2. And 20 grams of sugar.
That's your max.
Ooh, dots.
They did make it, yeah.
Okay, I don't think we need these bar charts. So
Nope.
I will get rid of these. Actually, let's do this. And get a scatter. As a kid, Halloween was always my favorite holiday. And I'm sad other countries like England, they don't celebrate because I feel like they might really like it.
We had friends that came over from the Netherlands and from Denmark, and they were super interested in like the American Halloween experience. They were adults when they came over to and came to visit, and they wanted to dress up as trick-or-treaters and go door to door. And I'm like, you're going to get stiff-armed. Like there's going to be parents that don't want adults running up to the door with like a pillowcase or whatever, or a bag to get candy. And they're like, we don't care. We still want to do it. We just want to see what it's like. Why would random people give you candy?
It's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, it's just normal to us.
It does show the amount of trust maybe that Americans have for strangers, because we'll just open the door and then.
But it's only one day of the year where you're allowed to get candy from strangers. I feel like I was always raised. Anybody hands you something that you don't know them, you just give it to an adult or throw it away.
Yeah, but on Halloween, you just you take it all.
And your parents have to look over it. And like, there's razors and things. You're like, who would do that? Just crazy. Yeah. It's worth it. Everybody should trick or treat if you haven't done it before. You got to burn some calories to eat all that candy anyhow.
Yeah. I mean, but the kids, they run around. And then the adults, when you sneak candy, I mean, you got to walk with the kids. So, yeah, all those calories
The
are
candy
burnt.
tax is what I'm learning about. So each dot is a candy on here, and you have your total grams of sugar and your what's on that one? Grams per serving. What's
Yes.
it telling us then?
So this is the total sugar per serving versus the grams per serving. So it's like how many sugar per grams you'll get. But it's kind of linear. Maybe we should do calories, and so we can see how many the calories are sugar.
Because you have a limit on the number of calories you want per day that are candy. What is an appropriate? This isn't on the food pyramid, right? Candy. I'm curious what people think as a good percentage on any given day that you should have your calories coming from candies, sweets, or treats. It's the pandemic. I feel like everybody's number's gone up a bit.
Oh, my number's always been really high.
What is within arm's reach of you?
Well, I'm finishing up my Mike and Ike's.
Oh yeah, it's a green box, right?
Yeah, it's a green box. We eat a lot of green foods, is what I'm realizing.
Mike's.
These are, I think, my new favorite because I love soft gummy candies with a hard shell.
Those are sour ones, though, right?
Yeah, but they're not that sour. These are great. I love them. I actually got them at Jonathan Israel when we had when we did that like team meeting. He passed out candy, and I was like, yes.
Oh, that's where you got it from. Nice.
Yeah.
See, there's other people that eat candy here for sure. I know that Josh does. He definitely has. Oh, he used to eat a lot of sour candy and then try to like one up everybody in the family for how sour the candy could be, to getting to the point where it's just like straight up, is it absorbic or citric acid? Like that's just the main ingredient in something.
Like Warheads. Oh, I can't eat malic acid.
Malic acid. Yeah, he'll just he'll hand out Warheads to people and then he'll put a bunch in his mouth and see who lasts the longest. And I think he's burned all his taste buds.
I don't like malic acid. I don't like Warheads because they burn the roof of my mouth.
So let's see. Again, to like Emily's point and others, like what do the colors mean? Maybe we can color that differently.
Yeah. Well, we do have the sugar, and we should also name these differently afterwards. So we give some more context, like maximum amount of sugar you want to eat. And then we can color this by, easily visualizing what is appropriate for that day. Yeah.
So you're thinking like you're coloring in maybe even a line, like a reference line?
Yeah.
Okay.
So reference objects, that's going to be on the y-axis.
Sugar. Yeah, I turned my head to look at the axis.
The value is V sugar.
Boom. Okay, that's easy to read. Then you're at 20.
Yeah, but then there's some in here. You're like, does it go over the line? Does it not?
Mm-hmm.
Good question. Let's color this. So, if candy is greater than the sugar.
It is sugar, I think. Whatever the data element is.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's sugar versus V sugar.
Yeah, that's true.
What is the name of the column? It's not sugar. Is it uppercase S?
Oh, it's total.
Total. Okay, it's a big one.
Okay.
If it's greater than.
If anyone needs help on their if statements, here's a good resource.
You can
watch this. We'll say if it's greater than, we'll do red, no go. If it's less than, we can do green. We can do this bright a strato green.
Mm. So now it's going to color each candy.
Oh, I was supposed to, let me change this to color by expression.
Oh, yeah. We wrote some codes in there that you might not need. There we go.
Perfect. So this, you can also use your mouse wheel and scroll in this way. So yeah, this might not be the best grain. Can you see it on your screen?
It's somewhat light.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, you grab like these slight colors. Is there an opacity set on the dots? Yeah. There we go. Now it shines. What's that one that's way off on the top?
Refreshers.
Refreshers. Again, somebody suggested refreshers is their favorite, right? Or do you know this candy?
No, I think it's a British candy.
Those British. They're way out there on either calories or amount of sugar. And they're blaming us. I mean, what down in the bottom corner seems like a really boring candy in the green that's closest to the 00.
Razzles.
Yes, Razzles.
That makes sense. Those taste like cardboard.
Okay. That's somebody's favorite candy.
Atomic fireballs. I've never liked those, but I was never a big cinnamon person.
Those are ones that you can have one, maybe two, and then your mouth will start to hurt.
Did you ever eat those Big Red, the gums?
Yes.
I was never a fan of those.
You have to just keep popping them because they lose their flavor so quickly. And then by the end, you've like eaten a whole pack, which is good that gum doesn't have a lot of calories in it. Can't be said the same of like Mike and Ike's though, I feel like. Is Mike and Ike's in here?
Yeah, they are. We got to find them. I think they might be in the reds.
Good and Plenty. That's a cousin, right?
I don't think they're made by the same. We can actually check. So let's look. They are.
You want to add the candy name in? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Who makes Mike and Ike's? Just Born.
Just Born. Never heard of it.
Actually, that makes sense.
That part of it.
Because it says it on here, Just Born. I
seriously had no idea. It just sounds like a baby clothing company.
We gotta find what's it called? Good and Plenty's.
Good and Plenty's. They're always just right next to each other. I always thought it would be the same company.
No, I think because they look similar.
Oh, just use the Qlik search and search for good. Shouldn't be many. Good and Plenty. Hershey. Ugh. Good and Plenty is my least favorite. I'm pretty sure. Anything licorice. It's just not. It's just like, oh, that's the only thing available. Okay, maybe I'll have that. It's a good way to get people to like leave your house if you're hosting a party. Just put out just licorice candy in a bowl.
I've never had a whatchamacallit.
Those are legitimately good. And if you like those Lion bars with wafers, you'll like it.
Oh, they have wafers. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't love Milk Duds. I could spend all day talking about candy. Almond Joys. I don't like those.
Some people love them. Some people absolutely despise them.
What's the candy? I think it's like Mounds, where it looks like another word when it's backwards, when it's upside down. So people always think it's one word or the other.
What? I didn't know that.
Because
Mounds and Almond Joy are just the same, right?
It's like SPUN. Like Spanow. Because Mounds. It's like Spanow.
It's a good font, I guess, if it looks that way.
Yeah.
We have somebody that loved Lion bars growing up. It's on my list to check out now. Maybe I'm on a long flight eventually, and they're in an airport. I'm gonna grab one.
What other visualization should we add? I think we have time for one quick one.
I'm curious though, your input, are you able to change the 20 to be a slider instead of just the thing? Because then you can almost like slide up and down the line on your scatter plot.
Yeah, so if I make a slider, I will need to change all the measures within each chart.
Well, can't you just, go to input fields, find your VSugar, and change the type to slider? It might not have upper and lower bounds. It might throw it way off the chart.
Oh.
It's in there, yeah. I just can't see what the number is. How did you land right on 20 exactly?
I'm just that good at sliding.
Because then you can like dial it up. Because I've seen people like, oh, can I do a slider instead? It's off the chart again. There's 10. How did M&M slip in there?
Yeah, that's interesting.
But lower. It's based on VSugar. Maybe there's multiple M&Ms. Actually, I see it because when you clicked it, it just highlighted the manufacturer. Or did you already have this as a filter?
Oh, yeah, this was a filter. Let me get rid of this. I do think you're right. No, it's just original. That's interesting. There's only one M&M.
It's an anomaly.
Yeah.
They're so good that they make it appear like it's still good even though it's over your limit.
That's how Hershey's gets you to buy more candy.
That's exactly it. Here's another one. Kit Kats from the UK and Canada. Oh, are Kit Kats in the UK different than Insia? I know there's different flavors. I've seen that, like strawberry stuff. We started to get them in the States.
What flavor would the UK have?
I know Canada would have like a maple flavored one. That's my guess. It's whatever I see. It's maple syrup flavored. Absolutely. The weirdest one I saw was like a bitter lemon. Oh, there's the bitter is a whole different flavor, right? Oh, not sour. And it was just like, this is a candy you get as a joke to give to somebody. Bitter lemon, like Kit Kats.
Ooh. I actually like, have you ever had matcha flavored things?
Yeah. Then you get a little energy boost from it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet that you're right. The European chocolate is different than we have. In the US, I've heard that. Like Cadbury chocolate. Who was telling me that? It's good in one country and it's absolute garbage in another. It's the same company, but it's just very different. I think they do a whole thing on chocolate, I feel like, too.
Isn't Cadbury owned by Hershey's in America? Like they...
Yeah.
I think there's like a rule
but in a different place, they're a separate company completely.
I don't know what's up with the data here.
There's a few in there, right?
Yeah, I think I wrote something wrong.
It looks like most of them catch it. I'm just wondering, if it's on minimum versus, you have minimum instead of, this is a straight up just value. If you put minimum in front of it, will it do it? Like minimum total sugar per serving? That should match.
Okay.
It was an aggregation thing. Well, that's another, like, you cherry pick the data. You pick the minimum calories instead of the maximum. So you can get it. This is cool. I'm going to use this, actually, I think, to pick. Maybe, like, I need to get back into doing, I don't really like diets that much, but just the mental challenge of saying, like, I'm not going to eat something for a while. We've talked about this, like, don't do meatless Mondays because then you just load up on Tuesday. But go for like a week or two. Don't buy any meat.
Yeah.
It could be like, I'm not going to pick up chocolate for something. But then when I do, I want to know which one I can eat out of this list. If I'm going to give myself, 400 calories, what can I get?
Yeah, we can do a whole like dietary planner with this. You can plan out your whole day. And you can say like, what are foods that you really like to eat that you need to, not eat so much of. Meat's probably candy. So you can say like
come up with our own index as well. Like Weight Watchers has points, but we can create maybe it's all around candy too. We'll just keep going on this one.
And chips too for sour toothers. Is that a word?
Crisps or chips? I'm trying to pick up the Britishisms. They don't eat chips.
They call parentheses brackets, and that confuses me so much.
That's totally wrong.
Because they'll say like, put in a bracket, and then I'll put in a bracket, and they'll be like, no. And I was like, I don't know what else you want me to do.
That's definitely straight up wrong. Awesome. This is fun. This was one I don't think actually we should publish this one quite yet, because we do want people to go to the Swedish App Challenge. You can search for it on Google. It now comes up. Right, it's a top hit, I think, if you search for Candy Challenge, Swedish App Challenge. People can submit a really quick thing. Spend, like we did here, less than an hour, play around with the data, get a different, unique thing in there. I'm curious to see what more people share here. Then we can publish the top ones and get this, like, maybe we pull them all together and build like the greatest candy sweet application ever.
Yeah.
Cool.
That sounds like a plan.
That was fun. Anything else you wanted to make sure we covered?
No, I think this is it. Next week we have Simon Levine. I think it is. Oh gosh, I actually called him this morning to ask him what his last name is, because I kept saying Levon, but I think it's Levine. Yeah, he's our designer. He's our head designer, and he'll be coming on. We had some pretty good feedback when we did a design session with Greta, where she kind of helped, make our dashboard look better. So yeah, we thought we'd bring Simon on and give his take, and just see what his taste is in colors and things, because Greta has her opinions. We'll see what Simon does.
Perfect. And then we have some other ones we'll build on, maybe like that trip that you went on with Pierce with the Gantt. We need to finance that trip at some point.
Yeah, we got to budget it out because it's looking expensive.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I saw you going from country to country within just a few days. Like
you're going from like Antarctica to Europe and then back down to South America. Like
cool. That'll be a fun one. And then we'll publish these apps as well at some point. But if people have ideas, reach out to us. You can put the comments in. Whether we're live or you see this on YouTube later, we'll read it. And we'd like to have some more guests too, because I think it's fun. Put others. You don't have to be on the hot seat like Jane or I or Cody or Emily now. We can be driving. You just tell us what to put on the screen or where you might put things. I think that would be really fun to have too. Just have people's different viewpoints on how they build dashboards is really cool to see.
Definitely. I heard someone say that they thought, to come on here, we have to ask them, and like it's a whole process. It's not, you can just send us an email or just ping us, find us wherever, and ask us. We're very open to having guests. We love them. It's always a lot of fun, and they bring in something different.
And I swear we're gonna get Appy Hour swag, t-shirts, mugs, turtlenecks, all kinds of things. Grills. After eating all that candy, I'm gonna need new teeth anyhow. So cool. All right. Well, I think we're good. So thanks for joining Appy Hour again. I'll grab my see-through cup and cheers you. Good work, Jane. Cheers. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.